understands. Look at me on stage, look at all the fans. Why are you enraged? I can't see you though. Old age, you don't want it, bruh. My niggas backstage, fully loaded. We got army guns, 12 gauge. I say one thing, that's when they disengage.
What's up? What's up? Summer Gonzalez from the On Point with Summer Show, baby, where it's always summertime. You know what it is. We are rocking out here, listening to some music of the Shy Guy, FayBN, in the building. You guys can't wait till you meet him. That was his song called Shy Guy at the top of the show. To tell you a little bit about FayBN before I bring him on, you guys already heard his amazing lyrical ability, and we want to really get into that a little bit tonight too. I want to talk to him about where that all stems from. But I've met him on several occasions, and I actually met him before he met me, because I met him through another artist, Second Avenue, who's been on the show, and he's like a really good friend of mine now. And actually, he's family. Everybody's family. Once you get on the show, you become fam. But yeah, he introduced FayBN to us because they did a song together, and it was amazing. So without further ado, I want to bring to you FayBN. FayBN, what's up? What's up?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good to see you. Thank you for taking time out for summer. You know, it's always good to see you. I've been seeing you at several venues around the city, and I know that we spoke, not in length, but we spoke a little bit about your upcoming project and the Kingdom.
Yes.
And I want to really get into that. Can I just get you to tell everyone a little bit about yourself, and scoot over here a little bit closer to me, so make sure that you're in the shot there, because I want you to tell everyone a little bit about yourself first of all.
Well, my name is FayBN. Artist name, same thing, FayBN, FayBN. Born in New York, grew up in Hollywood, Florida since '95. And really, I just want to send out, music with a message, something that's relatable to people, that young people can connect with, especially, and find a positive message in there. A message that brings hope, brings life, and even healing to some people. And most of all, I'm just doing this, for people and for God especially. So that's the main message in my music.
Yeah, and I was reading a little bit about you. I went on your website, and which is FayBN.com, and it has all your music there for everyone to listen to. And it tells a little bit more about you than what I had written in the bio, or that you had the bio that you sent me. And one thing that I remember, how whenever I would, you say you have a message, music with a message. But it's not one of those types of CDs or types of a project that sometimes when you say message, it might scare some people because they feel like, no, I'm not ready for no message. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that. It's not like that. It's very soothing and welcoming. And one thing that I wanted to read that I read on your website was it says, you're not listening when listening to his songs. He says you're not listening to a Christian man who has it all together. You're actually listening to the prayers and psalms of a broken man. This is me crying out to the Lord. This is me in the storm. However, thank you, Jesus Christ, for hearing and guiding me. That's like the biggest and best message ever. Because sometimes you say to people, hey, come church with me, or hey, come hear this message, or come go do this. And they feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not ready yet, or I'm not there yet. And your music says that, and I just wanted to read that out, because when I read that, it gave me chills. A lot of things give me chills, like very great singers and very lyrical individuals like you. And just that little message there was like all I needed, really, So let's talk about Shy Guy for a second. Where did that stem from?
Funny thing is, the story behind that song, I guess when I grew up, I kind of grew up because of family circumstances that happened, I started becoming a little bit more detached as I grew up into myself. And growing up, I heard the comment a lot, "Oh, you're such a shy guy. You're so quiet. You're so reserved," and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people they don't have it in mind that when people say something like "shy guy," it doesn't seem hurtful, but it kind of leaves an imprint on the person. And so you kind of grow up kind of just believing that's all you are and stuff like that. So I kind of grew up with that in a negative context in my mind, feeling that I was kind of like maybe like people saw me as awkward or something. So it's one of those things, when you have those things that, it's just somebody might call you something and it doesn't affect you because that's somebody might call me an alcoholic. I don't really drink, so that doesn't affect me. But when somebody called me, one time somebody got in an argument with me years later, and they called me shy, and then that kind of just triggered something in me. I was like, oh no, you didn't say that.
No, you did.
So the day later, I had to go to piano class, and we had to practice or whatever, and I was, alone in the practice room. And I should have been practicing, but I was so frustrated with the argument that I had the night prior to that I just right there on the keyboard just played those chords you heard in the beginning, ding, ding,
Yeah.
and then right there the song just flowed out, and I didn't even have the beat. I just wrote the whole song right there to the chords of the song.
Yeah.
So that's where it came.
True to life, that an emotion
Yeah.
brought that out.
Yeah.
And you can look at me keeping my yeah, but you can feel that though. You can feel that that's what that is. Shy isn't a bad thing, You turned that around. If you guys listen to the lyrics, he turned it around and made it such a positive thing, and that's so good in the way the world is right now with the bullying going on, and it gives people hope that maybe a little bit more reserved or to themselves, that it's not a bad thing to be.
Yeah, definitely. I think definitely I still see myself as more of an introverted person. But prior in the past, it was more of a fear kind of thing, or it was, I let kind of fear of what people might think of me control me to the point where I couldn't even sing in public. I couldn't do anything but speak in public or anything like that. So I think in that sense, it's kind of, that's where the line of, is it bad or is it okay is kind of drawn. I think if it controls you to a point where it doesn't paralyzes you and doesn't let you do anything, I think there's something that you need to work out there. Like I did, I had the same issue, but in the same context, I think it's kind of wrong when people do see somebody who's more introverted like myself and kind of just label them in a bad light, that this person's to themselves, or they're too quiet or something like that. And I think there needs to be a little bit more education out there, letting people know that there's, God created some people more outgoing for a purpose, and some people created some people more introverted for another purpose, and I think those two kinds of temperaments in people have an effect, and it can, more introverted people can reach certain people, and more outgoing people can reach other type of people. So I don't think it's a negative thing to be a little bit more reserved, and
It's a great combination. So tell them where they can find your music.
You can find it at FayBN.com, FayBN.com, or you can go to my SoundCloud, which is soundcloud.com, and then /FayBN, or you could just search FayBN in SoundCloud search. And all the music is there. And when this CD is going to be released, it's going to be released first on those two pages, and then it'll follow later into iTunes and the regular stores.
Okay, this is the album cover. Right?
Yeah.
I love it. Let me turn it. What camera are we on? Straight? Can you see that? I love it. I want to talk about it too after he finished. The album cover, you guys, for people who are listening and not able to see yet, but actually make sure that you tune into my YouTube page or my YouTube channel, On Point with Summer. You'll see the video on there, and also on my website, onpointwithsummer.com. You'll see this interview and be able to hear it as well. But the album cover is it's really cute. It's a cartoon caricature of FayBN, right? And he's on a hill, and he's carrying what looks like all of his belongings in a little knapsack, and his little heart is on the ground and everything. And then the kingdom is ahead of him, in front of him, and that looks like. Can you explain it? Because I want you to explain it. I'm gonna see if I was on the same page as you are with it.
Yeah, it's actually I drew that myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great. He draws. He's a musician. You play piano and everything, or just.
I know the chords on piano. I'm not like fluent, but I play a little bit more guitar.
Okay.
But drawing is something I did before music, but since I was like a little kid, since like 4, I was like drawing and stuff. And that cover it's kind of like a summary of the album in a sense. It's kind of like a little artistic, visual of the album. And I think everything on that cover, it kind of symbolizes something, from the little broken heart to the bear and little roses and everything. Because this album was birthed in the time, like I started this album like almost 6 years ago, but I wasn't working on it consistently, and that's why it took so long. But in that time, 6 years ago, it was a point where it was kind of like a low point in my life, and instead of kind of, I guess, doing negative things, at a low point in my life, I kind of, did something positive instead, started writing songs and stuff like that, and that's kind of where that journey of the kingdom started. It's kind of, I wanted to find a place where I belonged and I felt accepted, and that's what the whole concept of the album is, and that's what you can kind of see on the cover right there. This little guy, on his journey, and he's going through, and those belongings kind of symbolize something like a broken heart, meaning heartbreak, and teddy bear can, mean like a maybe broken past, childhood, or something like that. So it's kind of like dropping those things behind to go find that kingdom.
I love it, and that's exactly what I thought it was. The thing is, and I'm going to tell you this: when you sent it over to me, you only sent the album cover, but I'm a stalker, so I went everywhere and I found more information, and I found the back side of it where it lists the songs. And on the back, that's where it put everything together for me, actually. The picture on the back, it looks like you're like going up to heaven maybe, but it starts with a cross, and then it has the teddy bear, and then the heart, and everything all together, and then finally the knapsack, and then you holding on to it and being pulled up. So I thought that was just a beautiful artistic way to show, like on the front, that the journey was so far ahead of you, and on the back it showed you going to the kingdom.
Yeah.
Is that what?
Yeah, pretty much. The last song on the album, "The Kingdom," it actually, the lyrics of the chorus actually go, "Fly away to my kingdom where everything's okay." So it's kind of like that back cover is kind of like showing that, like, the dove is kind of symbolism of like the Holy Spirit. I mean, I don't think that's a secret, but it's kind of like, God taking me up to that place, to the kingdom, where I feel accepted and belonged, and kind of just shows me like how he's just, taking me by those things that I used to think were broken and defined me, and he's kind of just taking me by those things and, dragging me to the kingdom.
I love that. It's like it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there,
No, yeah.
I mean, it's just like, seriously, this really, you're very artistic. I mean, with the lyrics and the music and everything. And again, I love your flow. What is that? Do you like? I don't want to compare you to someone, but you remind me of several different artists all in one. You know what I mean? And that's amazing.
Yeah, I guess growing up, my favorite artists, I always listen to artists who were really out of the box. Like, I didn't like the typical, I liked artists who blended genres. I think some of my favorites, my all-time favorites, were like Outkast. I really loved like Kanye West's like early work and stuff. Who else? Linkin Park. I remember my first CD was a Linkin Park album. Like, artists like that who took genres and blended it together and like made something of their own. And I really admired people like that. Those kind of artists specifically. Yeah.
Who do you grind for?
Who do I grind for?
Why do you keep doing this? You said you were working on this album for a while to make it come out and make it worthy, and make it perfect. So tell me why you grind like that.
Well, one most importantly, I think if you're gonna do something excellent, put your best out for the Lord. That's my main goal. and I just want to do something that's acceptable and beautiful to him. And second, I want to do something for, people out there who might have been in a position where I was, who they can have music that's relatable and that shows God's redemptive qualities at the same time, that can, give them a positive message. So I guess you could say I strive and I grind for, just really being able to have music out there that can put a positive message out there for the young people who were like me. I think about those people who were kind of like at when I was like 15, 16 and stuff, like those kids, and like they need music like this because there's not a lot of music like that out there. And even when I was younger, I wanted music like that out there, and it was kind of hard to find. You had to really do your research to find, something like that, So I'm really pushing it out there for them.
So the official release is when?
Actually, this Saturday. I had to think about that.
The 19th.
Yeah, the 19th.
I know you're busy. I know you've been busy like all week and last week, and we were trying to get you in before the release. So tell. Yeah, it's Saturday. It's dropping.
Yeah, Saturday. If you want to be more correct, if you go tomorrow, Friday, at 11:59, and wait on your computer at FayBN.com, then at 12 o'clock Saturday, technically, then you can download the CD.
Okay.
So Friday, Saturday, depends on what you see 12 a.m. as, but Saturday, technically speaking.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's really, really good. I'm definitely there. I want to play the next single that you sent me, but I want you to talk about it. I want you to lead into it. Reject.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that one. That I like that song. That's probably out of the two that you sent me, I like that one the best. Talk about that.
Reject. Well, doing that song, to be honest, I think everybody, everybody, not just guys, everybody has a moment where, they might have felt something for somebody or whatever, and then you kind of, confess those feelings or whatever, and then next thing you know, you get rejected or anything. And it doesn't even have to be in that aspect. It could be with friends or, maybe you go somewhere, a job, declines you. Right. Everybody's felt some sort of rejection before, maybe even for their beliefs and stuff. But I wrote that in a time where I was recently rejected, to be honest. And the word reject has a negative definition to it, And that's what I felt at the moment. I felt like a reject. But when before writing that song, I realized I thought about the Bible, and I thought about Jesus, and I thought about, wait a second, Jesus was a reject because he was rejected by his people, and he was crucified, and he was even rejected by the disciples. They deserted him at the last minute, and I thought about that. And I was like, you know what? If Jesus was rejected and he still, overcame, and he still, he never used that as an excuse to sin or to do anything crazy. He was never bitter, or he still loved us, even after being rejected. Then I took the word reject and turned it into something positive. I was like, you know what? Then, maybe it's not that bad being a reject if my God was rejected, So.
Exactly. I love it. So with that, let's hear Reject by FayBN. I love it. That's my favorite song. I like how you go, like you ride the beat and then you go, like it's like a different, you change it up, and then your voice even changes, like it sounds like two different people. What?
I don't know, to be honest. I was one of those verses that there's some verses you got to kind of work more for to write, but that verse was kind of like just flowed out of me, like really just.
I gotta see that performed live because
I love performing that live.
do people go crazy?
Yeah, of all the songs that perform live, it's probably one of the more fun songs to perform live because it's so intense and people love it. They go pretty hyped for it.
I know. I love everything about that song, and it sounds because we're listening at it through here, but when on the playback on Blog Talk, it's gonna be crisp. Don't worry, but you guys, that Reject is like the song, okay? I mean to tell you, that's probably like number one for summer. But FayBN, I really appreciate you coming to the show today. It's telling me I only have 90 seconds live on the air, but it'll still record a little bit after. But if anyone's listening in right now live, it's going to disconnect. But on the playback, it'll go over for a few more minutes. So I want you again to tell everyone how to follow you on everywhere.
Okay. You can follow me on Twitter, FayBN Music. Remember, it's spelled FayBN Music. You can follow me on Instagram, FayBN. You can go on Facebook, FayBN, search me. You can also search me, FayBN Movilla, on Facebook. And make sure you keep up with my music on FayBN.com. And then you could download the album there. Be there Friday night, because 12 a.m. it's going to be there, the whole album, 14 songs.
Midnight, baby. Y'all tune in. Y'all tune in. Get his music. Get it. I'm serious. You do not want to miss this. FayBN in the building. Can I get you to do a shout out?
All right, shout out to Second Avenue. Shout out to Silent Hand. I know they keep up my music and they've always been supporting me. Man, just shout out to the family, everybody at Iglesia Escape, Lighthouse Church, just people that really keep up with my music and support me. Shout out to all of you.
All right, you guys, that was FayBN in the studio with Summer Gonzalez on the On Point with Summer show, where it's always summertime. Shout out to the troops. You guys make it home safe. Big thanks to 3DP Graphics for always getting it done behind the lens for me. And check out southbeachpics.com as well. All right, and FayBN once again in the building live with Summer, baby. You know what it is. Mwah.
I say it isn't so. We've got feelings of rejection, so we feed it on the low. With addictions and our vices, acting like we got a license to sin. So we blame the battle within for all the mess that we're in. So now we're playing the blame game. You pass the ball to your mama, to your girlfriend, and to your daddy. Who else is in your family you can blame for rejecting you? Don't you know you're affecting your mind? But when you buy all the lies, like you're not loved by a higher power coming up in your eyes. He came to this very earth to be a reject. Jesus didn't need us. He could have stayed in heaven and just blown us all to pieces. We're just mortals in the middle of a war between legions of darkness and the power of the Lord. He considered me a friend and he died as a reject just so I could be with him. I'm a reject, baby. Yet it's strange cause I feel so loved from a reject city. So I'm praying to God, thy kingdom come. To all my misfits, outcasts, the last will be first and the first will be last. Hallelujah to that reject who took the cross, died for the world's sin so we could be loved. Yeah, I got zero swag, no game. Honesty about myself is how I stay sane. Got no time to play games.